Breaking news, Jurgen Klopp is leaving Liverpool at the end of this season. His contract is set to run until 2026, but the Liverpool manager, Jurgen, he has sat down with Liverpool. They've put out a video on their YouTube channel, and he's made the announcement that at the end of this season, he's done. You might be wondering why. There's a lot to it, it seems. It seems to be more of a personal matter. It doesn't seem to be a health concern, according to him, either. But it's being rooted down to the lack of energy on his end. Not that it's not coming from other places, not that the team doesn't have energy, not that the fans don't have energy, but that Jurgen Klopp himself is just at a point where he's got to kind of step back a bit, he says. And I'll dissect everything he said, all the main talking points. And later on in the day, I will have a video discussing more in depth some speculation on who might replace him at the end of the season. I'll talk about that at the end of this video as well, just briefly, just list out who will be in that video as some options. It's not like a terribly long list, but as always, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, like the video if you end up enjoying it. I know as a Liverpool fan, it's kind of hard to, like something hearing that Jurgen Klopp's leaving, but if you like Jurgen Klopp and his time at Liverpool, give this video a like, show some respect for the boss, because there's a lot to discuss. Comment down below your thoughts on this, but I'll break down currently. I put like 8 quotes from Jurgen Klopp that I wrote down and his explanations. At the top of the list, the first big quote that came out of the interview on his end was, "I'm just a normal guy, but I just have never lived a normal life for too long now." That's a deep thing to hear from Jurgen. From the start, his kind of, his status as a normal guy has been very clear at Liverpool. He called himself the normal one in his first press conference, and he has been normal for the most part throughout the whole time there. People might say he's had like outbursts or this or that, and I think that's kind of normal sometimes to get emotional. So I don't know why people would be concerned, but normality and a sense of, it seems, comfort in just, having your own personal life and your own personal time is something that I think Jurgen, as a person, as someone who's, he's 56 years old now, he played professionally, he managed his whole career. It's effectively a very much lifelong commitment to football up until this point, and I think he just needs to step back is what he's getting at. The second quote that sticks out from the interview is, "Usually as a manager you get sacked, the other times you get ill and you have to stop. So as a press conference, this feels like a very special opportunity for him to let people know a couple of things, effectively, that it's nothing down to the owners. They tried everything to keep him there." His wife even was kind of like taken aback that he was making this decision, his wife Ula, as Ula was big and instrumental in getting him to extend in 2022. So it's kind of interesting that he's taking this responsibility himself to relieve himself of his duties at the end of the season, because he's talked about how all the planning and how the development of the club over the last few years with him here has been, and all that impact kind of leaves him at a point where, he's not going to get sacked by FSG. He didn't get sacked last season for what they did, and he even himself said it felt kind of like one of those seasons where at the end, the ownership goes, okay, like, it's not going to work here. So for him to kind of himself go out and say, "I don't think I'm the right man moving forward," I mean, as sad as I am, it's also a very noble and admirable thing for him to do, and I only respect him more for it. I think it's one of those things that, as a as somebody in a leadership position, you kind of have to do sometimes. And he's been given a lot of power, a lot of authority at Liverpool, and he himself said he never expected it to kind of manifest into what it was and what it is. But the third quote is the fact that his energy source is at less than it's kind of been in recent years or maybe ever, he said. And he's never had that issue before, so it's kind of blindsided him. So if his energy source is at less, and he said he's kind of known this decision that he's going to leave the club since about November. That's when they started kind of having discussions for next season, planning and such. And that's how these things go in football. You know, you plan ahead of time. And he said he just kind of sat there and said, do I really want to get to September and think, wow, you know, like I'm tired, I really don't want to go at it. He said that all the players, as soon as he noticed that the rebuild was successful with the midfield, as soon as he saw he had a talented crop of players there, that the club had, you know, a good kind of status of keeping Liverpool in good hands of. He said that he kind of had felt, well, okay, you know, I have to look at me now and his own personal life and see if he could actually enjoy any sense of normality in the future without kind of being, you know, at this point where he's without the energy to continue, or he's the issue, he's holding back Liverpool, you know, because he notices that this team is high energy, but maybe he can't match it moving forward. And he doesn't want to be the guy who is effectively the root cause of the issues moving forward. And his energy seems to be kind of not matched up with the current structure of the club, in the sense that the players are probably super invigorated and Klopp can give them a certain amount of energy now, but moving forward, it might become different. The fourth quote is his comparison to how he kind of feels right now. And I think it's a very, very kind of apt quote. It's a very interesting quote on his end. He says that he's kind of like a sports car, not the best, but can still drive up to, say, 160, 180 miles per hour. But he's in the driver's seat, and he's the only one who can see the tank fill line going down. At some time, he's going to have to stop at a petrol station, and he's going to have to refill. But until June, he said that he's fully committed. He's ready for the Norwich game on Sunday. He's ready for the Chelsea game after that at home. He's ready for the run-in, and I fully believe him. I mean, Jurgen Klopp is, you know, he's a manager who has a lot of prowess in terms of getting this kind of stuff done. He's a man who has, you know, a lot of prestige as a manager and is extremely competitive. I fully believe that he's looking to, you know, stamp his mark finally one more time, win the Premier League, do everything. Obviously, you know, will it go his way? Maybe not, but I think that he just wants it to go the best possible way that it can, and therefore I think supporters should, in a way, just, you know, continue to back the club and look forward to the future, and hopefully some kind of good energy will continue from that. And then the sixth quote, there's three more quotes. The sixth quote is, would I ever manage again? For now, I say no. In maybe a year's time, who knows, he said effectively. He didn't say that, you know, exactly in a year he'll start managing again, but he did say for at least a year he won't manage, which, you know, he did take that like 7-8 month sabbatical with Dortmund. So who knows how this will play out, but I do, you know, think he will stay true to his word. He is a man of character after all, and at the end of the day, I don't think he would say something like that in jest or exaggerate. But he also added, would I ever manage again in England? No, I have too much love for Liverpool. It's more like family. It's just not possible for him to manage anywhere else, which is totally fair. And once again, I mean, gotta respect it. You know, he is the man who built up this club at the end of the day over the last 7 years, who's been at the helm, winning every title, to, you know, to sneer at any kind of decision that the man may make when it's brought us so much success as is goofy in my eyes. Then the seventh quote is effectively that he's, you know, not going to manage for a year or so moving forward. And then finally, the final quote, the final kind of dropping off point for Klopp's statement his message to Liverpool supporters is kind of multifold. One, his first thing really is, don't make this about Jurgen for the rest of the season. This is about the club. The club's bigger than Jurgen, and it's not, it's about the team. It's about getting over the line. It's about winning, and effectively, don't make this about him yet. There will be time at the end of the season. There will be time after the season. There'll be, et cetera, et cetera. But beyond that, what else he had to say is, in terms of this, effective loss of a manager, him going and leaving the club, he said, "We are Liverpool. We've been through harder in, the club's perspective and on a personal perspective. So, in the past, there's already been harder things. So let's make a strength out of him leaving and use it to have something to smile about in the future. So use this energy to motivate the club, put your love and support behind the team, push on forward for the final run-in of Jurgen Klopp's tenure at Liverpool." What are my total thoughts on all of this? I woke up devastated. I woke up in a state of sheer mania and deluded sadness. I was broken as soon as I saw the news. I won't lie. My heart sank. I was in bed. My heart sank through my bed. It felt like it was at the core of the earth. And I thought, I have to listen to this. I have to see what he has to say. And at first I thought it was like a clickbait thing. I thought it was a joke. It wasn't, obviously. And I mean, I was a little devastated. After listening to it, I am fully behind it regardless. I think that Jurgen has never failed the club, truly. He said several things in the video. If you want to go and continue to watch even more, there is a video up on Liverpool's channel. But at the end of the day, the way I see it is, Jurgen has made effectively the best possible decision he could with the amount of resources he had. Maybe, some things didn't line up perfectly every time, but he did say the ownership tried entirely to keep him. His wife wasn't even entirely trying, she wasn't necessarily entirely supportive until he explained with more private details, he said, and she understood. It seems to me that Jurgen just wants a bit of a break, in the sense that he wants to spend time probably with his granddaughter, his daughter, his wife, and not to get too personal for Jurgen Klopp. I do think, if we're kind of reflecting on him wanting to have a bit more of a normal life, a bit more of a personal life, obviously family is clearly a big thing to him. And, sadly, his mother did pass a few years back. And you look at all that, and you can't help but understand. And finally, to end this video, looking forward towards my next video, which will be out later today, a bit more of a thorough look at who might replace Jurgen Klopp at the end of the season. And I will give you a quick list of some options. At the top, Pep Linders. Pep Linders is currently Liverpool's assistant manager. He is huge in helping Jurgen Klopp with the tactics. Klopp has always been a bit more of a manager. Jurgen obviously has tactical input himself as well, but the proper intensity and newer Liverpool style over the last 3-4 seasons has come down to Pep Linders a lot. He wrote his book Intensity. So that is an option. Another option is Xabi Alonso. He's currently doing wonders in Bayer Leverkusen. Xabi has a clause in his contract that effectively states, hey, if one of Bayern, Liverpool, or Real Madrid approach me within the next couple of years while at Leverkusen, I have the right to entertain their offers and see if I want to join their projects. So Xabi Alonso doing bits right now in the Bundesliga. Will he join? Possibly. That's another option that'll be in the video. And then another couple, the third option, I would say, probably would come down to somebody entirely out of left field that Liverpool isn't necessarily currently associated with. Um, the if you look at those options, I mean, you have out of the current crop of managers who are available, there's the option for maybe Jose Mourinho to step in, which would be a very kind of radical step by the club and kind of weird because Mourinho is older, but so I don't think it would happen. So it'd have to be somebody younger. I'd say probably Roberto De Zerbi is on that list. Depends on how obviously his season gets on with Brighton, but he would be hard to sway, I think, considering he is building a project over there. But at the end of the day, Liverpool is a bigger club than Brighton, so if they step in, who knows? And beyond that, I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head. I mean, you have the likes of Potter who's available. I don't think he's a good option. Um, there's tons of other younger managers. I think Andoni Iraola is actually another fantastic option for Liverpool to look at. He's been doing incredible with Bournemouth. He's, had a penchant for toppling bigger clubs than him in Spain, and his tactical input is something that could provide Liverpool with a similar kind of feel to a Jurgen Klopp era gegenpressing system. I'll add a few more to that, but for now, that's the list. And as always, if you like the video, give the video a like, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below. What are your thoughts on Jurgen Klopp leaving Liverpool at the end of the season? I know it's hard news to hear on a Friday going into the weekend, but it's news to hear nonetheless, and I hope that every Liverpool supporter is doing well. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Remember, we are Liverpool. We've been through harder in the past. So let's make a strength out of this and have something to smile to in the future. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sideline Sedo. Hope you enjoyed. You'll never walk alone. Peace.